Everyone, it's LS, and this is going to be a patch 6.23 rundown, so as always, let's just get into it. So okay, champion, Shyvana. Dragon's Descent can be interrupted. E is now an exploding fireball, and dragon form, passive resistance is down. Okay, so passive Fury of the Dragonborn, bonus armor and magic resistance 5, 10, 15, 20 at levels 1, 6, 11 through 16. 5 at all levels, okay? Dragon hating dragon. Shyvana deals 10% more damage to elemental drakes, including Elder Dragon. That's nice. For each elemental drake Shyvana or her allies defeat, she gains an extra 5 armor and magic resistance. So this is very gimmicky. I don't know, is this the patch where she gets new types of stuff for killing dragons? I'm not going to read all of this, but nonetheless, this is a pretty gimmicky thing, and it doesn't help Shyvana for competitive. It only helps her for solo queue and makes her a little bit better in solo queue. W, Burnout. No longer leaves a trail of flame, a flame trail behind Shyvana while in dragon form. Size in dragon form. 325, same as human form. 350, 365, 380 at rank 1, 2, 3 of Dragon's Descent. Okay. Updated Flame Breath. Law of Conservation of Energy now stops on the first champion hit in both human and dragon form. Ratio 0.6 to 0.3 ability power. Missile speed slowed. Power of choice. While in dragon form, Shyvana can target Flame Breath anywhere within its maximum range. Okay, that's actually pretty nice. While in dragon form, Flame Breath explodes when it hits a champion or reaches a target leaving behind the flame zone. Okay. Dragon form explosion 100 to 200 levels. Okay. Plus 0.3 AP. Stacking with flame. Okay. Flame zone duration 4 seconds. Flame zone size. Okay. Flame zone damage. That looks really nice. R, Dragon's Descent. Shyvana can no longer be knocked out of Dragon Descent dash. Okay, that's really cool. Max range 950 to 850. Damage 175 to 425. Scaling to 150 to 350. That's pretty bad. Bonus health 150, 250, 300. I think her losing the damage is a little bit problematic, but maybe it's actually made up for here. But, okay, bigger dragon. Dragon form is 16% larger at ranks 2, 3. I think that's a nerf, right? In the sense that it makes her easier to hit. But I'm not exactly sure if this... okay, yeah, I guess it does affect her attack range. But nonetheless, that doesn't actually feel like a buff. I feel like that's a nerf. I feel like these are very gimmicky, and it makes Shyvana nice for solo queue, but I'm very doubtful that it's going to help her much for competitive. One of the things, though, about competitive is that she actually is pretty good at clearing wraiths and Krugs. So there is that aspect of her, which I think is going a little bit underlooked. But one of the problems that she's having is that she doesn't really have a very proper keystone, and so that's pretty problematic. Akali, passive AP ratio is up, W cost down, E ratio is up. Heal ratio 0.6 bonus AD to 0.3 ability power to 0.6 bonus AD to plus 0.45 ability power. That doesn't really do much. Well, I mean, it does do much, but it's not the end of the world. Damage ratio 0.5 bonus attack damage, 0.5 ability power, 0.5 bonus AD to 0.65. So 0.15 ability power up. Now, Akali doesn't really... I don't think Akali ever really exceeds like 400 AP. So that isn't like the end of the world. But yeah. W, Twilight Shroud. Oh, the energy cost going down super low. That's actually really, really, really big. This is actually really big for tank Akali, which I think is the variation that she should be played as. E, Crescent Slash, 0.7 bonus AD, 0.5 ability power to 0.8 bonus attack damage, 0.6 ability power. That's pretty good. So I guess like if you combine E and her passive, that's sort of nice for her assassination attempts, but overall these are pretty nice buffs for tank Akali, which is the way that I think that she should be played. So that's good. Anyways, W, Anivia. W cooldown lowered. E no longer deals increased damage against targets in R until the storm is fully formed. R forms faster, okay? Nivia's R-E combo has been a staple of her play for years, but the instant unavoidable burst and the lane pressure it provides overshadows the success of season trapping the foes in Glacial Storm with well-placed walls and Q stuns. That said, burst damage does seem like a fair reward whenever you're... okay. W crystallized, 17-second at all ranks. That's really nice. E frostbite. Cooldown 5 seconds at all ranks to 4 seconds at all ranks. That's really good for CDR as well. Shield bonus deals 200% damage to a target recently hit by Q, Flash Frost, or R Glacial fully formed. Okay, that's actually pretty problematic. Time to fully form, 3 seconds to 1.5 seconds. That's obnoxious. Damage per second is gutted, though. Ratio 0.25 ability power to 0.125 ability power. I'm wondering if this actually even really deals much more damage now. Empowered damage. Empowered storm deals 153% damage. Okay, that's I guess okay. Okay, Evelyn, passive Shadow Walk. No longer displays a gray tint on Evelyn's screen while camouflage. Okay, that's good. Katarina, stop walking away from your target. Katarina, E Shunpo move commands are cancelled if Shunpo targets a plant or enemy champion. Okay. Concerns around colorblind, visibility, promptness, looking to final sparks indicator. Okay, so Lux is, that's like whatever. Malzahar. Voidlings deal more damage but don't multiply as frequently. Malzahar can now store 2 charges of Void Swarm. Love him or hate him, Malzahar's damage output can be downright confusing. When standing against its Void Swarm, the lack of clarity surrounding how the Voidlings operate and what you should do to fight them can be more than a little overwhelming. In light of this, we're adjusting how the mechanic functions to keep things understandable with a heavier focus on chaining Malefic Vision to Voidling success, okay? Now stores up to 2 charges. Okay. Voidling health. Voidlings now have 3 health and take damage similar to Zyra plans. Basic champion attacks and spells deal 1 damage, 0.25 damage. Okay. Voidling physical damage is down. Yeah, that's down considerably, I think. Wait. Maybe it's not. Wait. Yes, that's down considerably. Yeah, it's down considerably. Okay. Voidling magic damage ratio, 0.1 ability power, 0.2 ability power. That's kind of nice. I guess that probably makes up for it because of how much AP Malzahar actually ends up getting. Voidlings can spawn other Voidlings within 3 seconds of W cast, okay? Voidlings can no longer spawn other Voidlings by killing minions. Voidlings deal 300% damage to minions affected by Malefic Visions, okay? Minion hate. Voidlings no longer execute low health enemy minions, okay? Voidlings no longer gain 50% attack speed, okay? Voidlings now only gain movements moving towards priority targets for 600 units. That's really, really bad. That's really bad. See, I don't know why they touched Malzahar. Malzahar was in a pretty okay spot because he had such a very long windup, and these just seem like very random, unneeded changes, and it's just very obnoxious because these changes might actually kill him. I'm not entirely sure. It'll definitely affect some of his laning phases. The mana cost going down doesn't really do anything because Malzahar doesn't have any mana problems anyway. I don't know exactly how that affects everything though. Okay, W command dissonance. When cast during the travel time of Q attack command, dissonance waits to fire until the board reaches. Okay, that's a good bug fix. Sorry, Kitty. First bug causing Bone Tooth Necklace to stop working if Rengar was revived. Okay, well, no Rengar nerfs. That's actually one of the biggest jokes I've ever seen. I don't know in what universe this guy can actually get through a patch without getting gutted or nerfed or something. That's so bizarre. Armor and health growth stat increased. So armor growth by 0.4. I mean, I guess. Okay. Health growth stat 73 to 85. That's not bad, actually. He basically gets a ruby crystal now or so at level 18. That's pretty nice. Okay. Yorick. We originally created Dark Procession's cast behavior in 6.20 to give Yorick players snappier, more reactive W cast. Renew accuracy would take a small hit, but the trade-off ended up more problematic, so we're going to change. Okay. Well, Yorick's pretty terrible, so he actually needs buffs. Yeah. Blade of the Ruin King has been out of the spotlight for a while. Even for champions, we should expect like it. Blade of the Ruin King should be the go-to item for basic attacking champions who want dueling power out of their first item. To accomplish that, it should be doing a bit more at the start of the fights. 6 to 8% of the target's current health. Okay. Well, this is a buff for Lucian. It's a buff for Ezreal. It's a buff for Vayne. It's a nerf for all the other ADCs, though, that are currently popular, so that's actually really nice. Attack speed 0 to 25%. Technically speaking, Razorblade still counts as an attack speed item because of the stacking buff. That said, the loss of flat value feels like an often stepping backward. Given the attack speed is necessary, pretty good KO buff, semi-okay Teemo buff, but not really. Soloq, okay, combined cost 1150 to 1050, total cost 2700 to 2600. This is actually pretty nice, but Soloq is very, very, very situational. I guess this is for another map. Reminder, yeah, it only exists on that. Okay. Living Jungle. Green Thumb. Plants are now immune to critical strikes and lifesteal. Okay. Blast Cone Bug Fix. Okay. Bug Fix. Bug Fix. Okay. Jungle Experience. More XP on mini Krogs, less XP on big Raptors. The time investment we asked of junglers to take the crops wasn't paying off as much as we like. As a result, we're shifting some of the jungler XP From the Raptors to lesser Krugs. Overall, the amount of experience in the jungle is about the same, but it's slightly more concentrated on the Krugs. So Crimson Raptor experience 65 to 15. Krugs 5 to 15. Ancient Krug and Krug Unchanged. So what this says to me right off the bat is that it's a buff for Sejuani. It is a buff for like Shyvana. It's a buff for Skarner. It's a buff for Nidalee. It's a buff for Graves. It's a buff for who else right now inside of the jungle? I'm trying to think of other popular. I guess Rengar in his own way. So it's a buff for all of them. It is a huge nerf to Ivern, who is obviously one of the more very up-and-coming popular jungle picks right now. But this is a very big nerf for Ivern, actually. Okay. League client update. I don't really care about that. Okay. Position preference. Autofield has been... okay. Autofield. Okay. Position preference. So the chance that you receive one of the percentages as primary or secondary is support, but Q times will be considerably reduced. Okay. Bug fixes. Fix bugs for shotgun. Okay. 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 All right. So I guess I mean, that's pretty much it for the patch rundown. All in all, I think that Tank Akali still needs to be tested. I think it's a complete joke that Vayne did not get hit a little bit. I mean, Vayne actually got buffed, so she's going to actually terrorize for a little bit longer. But she's only currently buffed just due to the way that the meta currently is, and just because of how the current itemization and who all the champions are and everything. But also because some of the AD carries got hit in previous patches and with itemization and stuff, like Jhin, for instance, being gutted and basically almost removed from the meta. He's no longer like the number 1 ADC, etc. I think it's really, really bizarre that Rengar doesn't get touched at all, considering how disgustingly broken he is right now. The Anivia thing I don't really care about because Anivia is too situational anyway. Katarina, it's sort of whatever. Lux is sort of whatever. It doesn't really do much. Orianna, I guess it's nice. Shen, this is really nice actually, because this could help Shen come back. But the problem is that right now a lot of double AP compositions are coming back. But one of the things that's actually really cool about Shen is that he has a lot of synergy with Ivern, which is one of the new heavy meta junglers that are coming into play. So there is that as well. But Shen has been missing from the meta for a little while now, and I think that these changes could potentially help him come back. But he's still going to be, or he's still going to have to be a counterpick up in top lane. I think Shyvana is probably good for solo queue, but I'm not so sure about competitive. Although without really seeing how all of this is going to interact in a meta scenario, I don't really know. And then I guess that's it. Okay, bye.